So let's go ahead and get started with step one that we're going to cover in this podcast is about getting the website. I'm talking about your different options with getting a website. Or if you have one, you want to make sure that a lot of what we talk about today is done for your website so that you're going to get the most out of it. So what are your options, right? So if you want a website, you basically have a couple options. You can get a free online service like Wix. If you go to Wix.com or Weebly, there's Wix, Weebly, and then WordPress.com, which is a WordPress hosted WordPress site. Then your other option is to hire a developer. If you want a custom one, if you want a developer to code up a nice looking website for you, you can obviously do that. Now, great places to hire developers would be Upwork. It's called Upwork.com, as you can hire somebody, usually less expensive. You get somebody in the Philippines. Definitely check for great reviews. They must have great reviews and have done work before, so you can get an idea of whether they did what they say they can do. And I would definitely probably start them off with a smaller part of the website just to see how well they do before you give them the whole project. Because the last thing you want to do is pay them thousands of dollars and wait a couple months to find out that all of it was garbage and you didn't like any of it. So with that kind of thing, definitely piecemeal at first until you get to know that they're doing the job the way that you want them to do it. So what are the issues with building your own website, though? Because that is something that people consider. And, if you have a little bit of a technical background, obviously you'll consider it too. So, if you need to come up, if you're going to build your own website or you're going to hire a developer, one thing is that you need to be aware of is that you're going to need to come up with the content, right? You can't just say, hey, build this website for me. They're going to ask you what it needs to say and what pages you want. And, how should the form submission work? When people go to submit that form, what's going to happen? You've got to be able to explain all of that. And if you're going to build your own, you could use for the form, because people do ask this, if they're setting up their own website, what can they use for the form? And Woofoo.com offers online form builders, and that's WUFOO.com. Never used it, so I can't really explain it very well, but they, if you go to that website, you can check that out if you decide to do that. Obviously, I don't recommend it. Your time is better spent going out there and making deals and doing deals and making money. But anyway, let's, another issue too, that comes to mind is really regarding SEO. So that's search engine optimization. And if you hire a developer, developers aren't inherently search engine optimization experts. Some of them will say they are, and it's kind of scary because you really need to focus on, one thing or the other to be an expert. But some guys are really good. I'm not saying that they're not out there, but you just got to be careful with who you get and what they're doing. You could learn how to do SEO yourself and create and do it. But if you have the site created by somebody else or using one of those free services, that might be pretty difficult, because some of the aspects of on-page SEO are a little bit complicated, and so getting those built into there can be pretty tricky. But anyway, search engines want to provide a good experience to people using their searches. This has led them to prefer sites that are mobile responsive. And so this means that the website adjusts. It's easily viewed on both mobile devices, tablets, and desktops, obviously, or any kind of devices. So if you hire a developer to create your site, make sure that they build it to be mobile responsive. I think some of Wix and stuff like that offer the mobile responsiveness. I'm not sure how they do it, but you have to check. That's one thing to definitely make sure of. And we'll talk more about this mobile responsiveness and how basically the number of searches that people are doing on mobile devices has gone way up as compared to desktop use. So it's not just desktops anymore, computers or laptops that people are going to websites on. They're going from their phones and from their tablets. So you want to make sure that website works for those too. And, regarding hiring a developer as well, software developers can be pretty expensive. So it's a wide range. You can pay thousands of dollars for a site. So, like I said, if you shop around, you could probably get it done cheaper through a developer in the Philippines that usually they speak pretty good English. And on Upwork, you can specify that you want somebody that's fluent in English. So that's pretty great. All right, so the other option besides building your own or hiring a developer is to get an already built optimized website system. And go with the service that provides these optimized real estate investor websites. And lucky for you, I know all about those because I developed one myself that you can use. And so the story about that is, over the last 10 years of generating thousands of motivated seller leads online, I've learned quite a bit about what works and what doesn't. So in my book, if you know that I have a book out there, it's called Flipping Houses Exposed, 34 Weeks in the Life of a Successful House Flipper, which you can actually get for free by going to flippingjunkie.com/free book, all one word. And you can just, you can download that book for free. It's actually 300 something pages or something, but it's excellent. Anyway, the book I showed where almost 500 motivated seller leads came from during 34 weeks of my flipping business several years ago. And the vast majority of those leads, of those nearly 500 leads, were from my house buying website, which is DannyBuysHouses.com, if you didn't know that or haven't seen it. As more and more people have read that book, because hundreds of thousands of people have downloaded that book, and it's on Amazon as well, but you can just get it at flippingjunkie.com/free book. But as more and more people read that book, I would continually get emails from people asking me, where I got my website and if I can help them get one set up. And I really hated not having a recommendation. So I used my background in software development, what I did before I started flipping houses, to build websites for other investors. And these are just normal websites. These aren't just normal websites either, because they're built on the over 10 years experience generating thousands and thousands of motivated seller leads. So all of that I learned, the mistakes I made and what worked and what didn't, go into that. So it's a huge benefit, and that's why I think so many people were asking me, kind of hoping that maybe I would develop one for them. But so I did. We provide these now, and the system is called Lead Propeller. So if you haven't heard of that, go to leadpropeller.com. Those are real estate investor website systems, and basically managed online lead generation for real estate investors. Definitely check it out. And I don't want to turn this into a giant sales pitch. Anybody that's followed Flipping Junkie for any length of time knows that I'm not a salesy guy. I'm not going to hype up a bunch of stuff and not give you any kind of real value. So what I want to do is go over what makes for a great optimized website system, so you know what to look for in one. And this will be helpful information for you no matter what you decide to do, because it's your choice. Go with Lead Propeller, go with another system, build your own website. It's your choice. So you're going to get a lot of value out of this. What I'm going to cover now are the following. So what makes a high converting real estate investor website? So we're going to talk about what makes a high converting site, how the proper notification system helps you eliminate competition. So if you have your system, your website system worked out great, you can actually eliminate competition, and I'll show you how that works. And then how fresh content on your website helps you to rank better, faster, and for more terms to get more leads. It's a really cool thing. So many people put a website up and don't ever touch it after they do, and it's just crazy. You've got to add content, and I'll show you ways to do it where you don't have to do that yourself. Stay tuned for more awesome info about online lead generation. Take care.